Massive news today, just breaking. Tesla Robotaxis officially launching in the San Francisco Bay Area. Not just the city of San Francisco, but an absolutely enormous service area, which we'll get to. In addition, short rides now have dynamic pricing as opposed to a fixed cost, which was obviously where things were headed. A few ex-users showing some examples of Tesla's dynamic pricing. $3.12 for this trip, a very short one, via Tesla Robotaxi versus $7.98 for the identical trip via UberX. And for Uber Comfort, which at this point in time, this would actually be the comparable service because the Model Y, that's the kind of thing that would be operating on Uber Comfort. $12.58. So imagine my shock. Tesla with a massive cost advantage, obviously, as I've said in the past. They'll offer rides as low cost as they possibly can without wait times getting too ridiculous. We should have seen this coming. Wait, I did. Been saying the same thing for, almost 6 years in thousands of videos. Uber in big trouble. Additionally, Tesla now adding additional vehicles to its Robotaxi fleet, which is relatively small, let's be honest, in Austin. So let's recap so far. Now operating with dynamic pricing, meaningfully more affordable, at least initially, versus Uber. Expanding the Robotaxi fleet in Austin. Oh, and also now beginning to operate in the San Francisco Bay Area. Just a friendly reminder that Tesla's first Robotaxis began operating in Austin, Texas just over 1 month ago. Since then, begins operating, no major incidents, expands in Austin, now launches in California in the span of roughly 1 month. Do you understand? And here's a peek at the service area in California. City of San Francisco, all the way down to San Jose, a massive area, including, of course, Fremont, where Tesla happens to have a factory. We'll look at some comparisons versus the Waymo service area soon, but first, I saw this from Mars with the caption, "If we could fix dumb, the person he's quoting would be patient zero." So let's see what this supposedly dumb person had to say. A recent post where he says that he knows that Tesla shareholders, aka you and I, don't care because we are actually dumb enough to believe that this time Elon is right about solving self-driving, even though there's no evidence of that, and he has been wrong about it non-stop for 10 years. But hey, you can't fix dumb. Is he talking into a mirror? This can't possibly be real life. Tesla's operating Robotaxis in Austin. They've expanded in Austin, and then this gets posted just before they expand in California. Claiming there's no evidence. Oh, dude, talk about projecting. So let's talk more about this geofence in California. Joe posting this. Here is a comparison between the Tesla Robotaxi San Francisco and Waymo service areas. Are you ready? Make sure you are sitting down for this. See that blue? That's the Waymo service area. And this big monstrosity, the Tesla service area. So, just like to pass on my condolences to Waymo. Rest in fucking peace. Can we please just take a moment to appreciate what's happened? In the span of approximately 1 month, Tesla's gone from launching their very first Robotaxis in Austin, expanding into the shape of a dick just for the lols, and now look at this hammer blow. This is bonkers. The implications are enormous. So too the service area. Now at this point in time, with 3 extremely important data points, first they launch, then they expand, and then they launch in a new state with a massive service area. At this point, it's just not possible to deny Tesla is going to destroy Waymo, destroy Uber, scale widely and rapidly, almost overnight, relatively speaking, have a massive cost advantage, a massive scale advantage, and eat the lion's share of the profits in the Robotaxi market. You cannot possibly be retarded enough to deny this. Even if you're a half-wit, surely you can figure this out. Tesla's won. Of course, I have been saying this now for almost the last 6 years straight in literally thousands of public videos, never mind my Patreon content. I've been saying the exact same shit, trying to warn literally everybody I possibly could. So we get to this point, and I say, well, I tried to warn you motherfuckers literally every single day, saying the exact same thing. Tesla's going to massively scale. They've got a generalized solution. No one else does. Blah, blah, blah. Looks like Waymo's ahead, but it's not. So finish line, not who's off the starting blocks first. Just so I could sleep all at night, knowing I did try my best to explain to people what I was seeing around the corner. And here we are. So the big question now, when will the penny drop among deep-pocketed institutional investors? When will they realize that Tesla's going to run away with this at a record pace, take the lion's share of the profits, make unfathomable progress, and eat well off this multi-trillion-dollar opportunity? How can you possibly be skeptical now, looking at the pace Tesla is scaling? Just imagine being the folks at Waymo. Tesla launches about a month ago with a very small service area in Austin. Then they leapfrog you with a dick-shaped service area just for the lols. Then you try and push back by slightly expanding in Austin. And then Tesla launches in your backyard in California with the service area that is so much larger than yours, you're probably going to have nightmares and never get over your insecurities about the massive size difference. It's over. More context, Zach posting this. The Robotaxi geofence in the Bay Area is about 75 miles long to drive without traffic. Almost an hour and a half. Now, remember recently Elon Musk says that potentially by the end of the year, Tesla believes they could be servicing roughly half of the US population. And everyone said, oh, bro, come on, bro. As if that's going to happen, bro. This expansion itself now into a new market, immediately servicing literally millions of people. This is absolutely outrageous. There are 3 pillars to the Tesla thesis around Robotaxi, which I've been saying now for, again, more than half a decade across thousands of videos. Number 1, Tesla has a generalized solution to autonomy. In other words, their vehicles know how to drive, period. This is distinct from everyone else attempting to solve autonomy, who are dependent on pre-mapping in high definition, measuring everything in the area you intend on operating, literally to the square inch with LiDAR, bouncing lasers off shit ahead of time. And then if nothing changes, sure, you might be okay. But as soon as there's an issue, something in the environment's changed a little bit, you're in big trouble. And as we've seen example after example after example, this has proven out to be accurate. Imagine my shock. No other company has a generalized solution, meaning even if they had the vehicles to scale rapidly, they couldn't, because they'd be encumbered by needing to pre-map everywhere, every square inch in high definition first, do a lot of validating and testing and blah, blah, blah. It's just like a human who knows how to drive a vehicle, period, can drive a vehicle, period, doesn't matter where they are on the planet. Even in a country where it switches to either right-hand drive or left-hand drive and you're on a different side of the road, you've learned how to drive relatively safely, you can adapt. Just need a little bit of understanding about the local nuance, signage, blah, blah, blah. Everyone else has an extremely brittle, fragile, limited capability because they have not approached autonomy in a generalized way. So pillar number 1, Tesla has a generalized solution. Nobody else does. This is a big problem. They can't scale quickly. Number 2, Tesla has massive scale. They already today have millions of vehicles on roads, which with an over-the-air software update are capable of operating autonomously. And in addition to that, they also happen to manufacture roughly 2 million Robotaxi capable vehicles every year sold to customers. Never mind the fact that the Cybercab enters production next year and those things are going to be super affordable and they'll be cranking out millions of those. Pillar number 1, generalized solution. No one else has it. Means massive scale. But the only way you can achieve that massive scale is if you already have a massive fleet of vehicles, millions on roads, which Tesla does, and can produce millions more per year, which Tesla does. But then there's a third pillar as well. And any one of these things Tesla could win with versus the competition. But if you have the trifecta, holy fuck, it is G fucking G. The third thing is cost of operation. Ultra efficient drivetrains, aerodynamic vehicles, low cost to put the hardware on roads. E.g. Tesla today, Model Y, entry level, can manufacture the thing for mid $30,000. Waymo's putting sensors on high-end luxury Jaguar electric vehicles easily over $100,000. Then, of course, there's Tesla's dedicated Cybercab, which is going to have an even lower cost. Tesla's cost for comparable hardware in terms of what it can do in a certain area, an autonomous ride, is a literal fraction, maybe 20% or less that of, say, Waymo, the so-called leader here. So let's recap. Tesla is the only company with a generalized solution. They're also the only company with massive existing scale and the ability to crank out millions of robotaxis per year. And the cost for them to put a robotaxi on roads is a fraction, maybe a fifth, a sixth, a seventh the cost of Waymo. These 3 things are not only true of Tesla, but they are only true of Tesla. At this point, I don't think it's possible, if you actually think about this, to not see how it plays out. Tesla has won. They're going to take the lion's share of the profits. They're going to scale widely and rapidly, leave everyone else in their dust, have a massive cost advantage, price as aggressively in terms of low cost per mile as they can without their wait times getting too absurd. And how do you manage wait times? More vehicles. And how do you have more vehicles? You manufacture more. So Tesla's going to drive their cost per mile down as fast as they can without wait times getting ridiculous. And as wait times start to blow out, they produce more vehicles, they add more vehicles to a service area, they continue to drive costs down. And companies like Uber, Waymo, Lyft, pick your company, even taxis today, will not be able to sustainably compete on cost. They'll go out of business. And even if they were to sustain crazy losses to try to compete on cost per mile, which is not a sustainable business model, they go bankrupt anyway. Even if they were trying to do that, they had unlimited capital, they still wouldn't have enough scale. And just one last thing I'd like to say as I wrap up, a prediction. You will, no question, hear some form of, oh my goodness, we are so surprised at how quickly Tesla is scaling. We did not see this coming. How on earth are they suddenly operating in a new state with a massive, massive, massive service area when it took Waymo this long to get this far? Oh my gosh, we didn't see how fast this would happen. Oh, wow. Well, okay, that's got to be what you hear from many analysts, money managers, people in the finance media, so-called investors, retail investors, examples of which may have recently sold their stock. And if this happens to be the case from anyone, you see an analyst, a money manager, a content creator, a retail investor who posts on social media, literally anybody who is surprised at how quickly Tesla is scaling their robotaxi service and expresses any form of shock whatsoever, I have some advice. This person has permanently disqualified themselves from having any credibility on anything at all they ever have to say in the future about Tesla or technology, period. So take anything they say with a Mount Everest-sized grain of salt. This was so fucking obvious. I literally said the same thing for nearly 6 years in a row across thousands of videos. And the receipts are everywhere. To not have seen this coming is a tacit admission of severe retardation. I did try to warn everybody, and here we fucking are. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.